Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rob. This is RH Midwest Comics, and we've got a brand new price analysis today on a book we've never done before. This is Amazing Spider-Man #1. I know people have been waiting for this one, so we are finally getting to it. If you've seen these in the past, you know how it works. If you haven't seen these in the past, I'm going to explain it to you right now. So this is what I do. I use GPA data and only Blue Label, so only universal sales data from CGC books in GPA, and I go back essentially 4 years now, from the beginning of 2020, before all of the COVID madness, through the end of November, because we're in December now. Happy December. It has been a very, very fun year. So I'm taking all the data through the end of November, but I only take data from the grades that have sold within the past 2 months. So that means October and November time frame. And the reason I do that is because if I go back, sometimes I'll go back 3 months, but if you go back any more than 2 months, 3 months, the data's so volatile right now, mostly dropping, right, on most of these key issues, that if I try to carry those averages forward from 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 months ago, it's really going to skew the data, right? And won't be accurate because the prices have changed so much over the past year, and essentially every month it seems to be changing. So when I look at the grades that sold in October and November, you'll see them here. Everything from a 6.0 down to a 1.5. I think there was a 1.0 that sold as well in either October or November. I did not include that because 1.0 sales data is always really, really volatile. So there you have it. So I take those grades, all the data, and I go back 4 years to the beginning of 2020, and I map it out on the chart here, and we're about to go through it, and that gives us an idea of how this book is trending on average. Okay, so with that, let's get into it. So back at the beginning of 2020 in January, this book, all those grades I just talked about, the average sale price of them combined was $7,631. So remember, this is pre-COVID, before all of the madness of, people staying at home, not going out, not spending money on other things. A lot of factors went into it. The point is, in January of 2020, this book averaged $7,631. Now, if we go forward, you know what happens. Okay, so I'm going to let the chart run itself here. So kind of steady, and then COVID started, and then the book went nuclear, like every other big key issue in the world. And then we get to its high point, so I always stop the chart at the high point. This happened to be in May of 2022, and it varies. The high point for all these key issues, it changes, right? Some of them were, in 2021. Some were at the beginning of 2022, but it was pretty much in, the May, June timeframe of 22 where everything peaked, right? Nothing was peaking anymore after that. And then what happens? We started seeing the downturn. So I'm going to run from this point on in a couple different sections and explain what's happened here. So again, the high point, May of 2022, just under $20,000. So this book increased by over 150% from the beginning of 2020, okay? But we're no strangers to this. This happened with a lot of key issues. Then what happens? Well, over the next 5 months, this book dropped like a rock, okay? All the way through October of 2022. But then something interesting happened. The collectors started gaining confidence again, thinking that this book could not drop anymore because the drops were so steep. And it's not unheard of, right? Towards the end of years, November, December, and then into the January through April timeframe, we've seen prices increase on key issues before. So that's what happened here as well. Pretty big increases. But now I'm going to take you through what happens from April through today, right? Through the end of November, and people lost confidence again. You see everything going all the way down, with the exception of November being a slight correction. The average price of the book now is $9,595. So from its high point, we've seen this book drop by 50%. So from 19,000 down to 9,500, essentially cut in half. But now what I like to do is I like to look at the whole picture and how has this book done since the beginning of 2020. You can see it, right, going from $7,600 way back here all the way to $9,500 out here. And what's the book done? It's increased 26%. So if you've seen these in the past, these overall box scores at the end, even with big drops that we've seen on every book, the overall increase has still been 50%, 80%, in some cases 100%. But as more and more time goes by, this overall increase since 2020 is continuing to drop. And my opinion is this is a really good thing. If you look at the slope, if you draw a line from January of 20 to November of 23, that slope in my mind seems pretty reasonable for growth in value of a major key like ASM number 1. All right, so we're getting back to a point where things are reasonable, prices are okay. And some grades, right, when you get into higher grades, you're not seeing the prices drop quite as much because there's still some there are collectors out there that really value those higher grades, and I get that. The lower to mid-grade books are where some of the bigger drops are happening. But that's it. So no surprises here other than we're getting back to reality. What's going to happen in the future? Nobody knows. You don't know. I don't know. But I think we could be in for, if the same thing happens this coming year that happened last year, we could see a few months of increase. And then depending on what the economy does, right, it could drop back down in, the second, third, and fourth quarters. But we'll see. So that's Amazing Spider-Man number 1. So this is what I've done so far. These are all the books that I've done price analysis on. So I did each of these individually to begin with, and then I've done updates on some of these as well. So I've done Amazing Fantasy 15, X-Men number 1, Hulk 181, Giant Size X-Men 1, First Punisher ASM 129, Fantastic Four number 1, First Iron Man at Tales of Suspense 39, Hulk number 1, and then we added today Amazing Spider-Man number 1. So like I said, right, I'll be able to add this now to the collection of updates that I do at some frequency. And I think I'm going to be able to split these up now and do like a Bronze Age update, with, Hulk 181, Giant Size X-Men 1, ASM 129. I'll do those together, and then I'll do the Silver Age books as an update as well. And it's much easier to do the update because I've already got 90% of the data that I need, so it's easier to add on 1, 2, 3 months at a time now. But for the new books that I'm going to do in the future, a lot of options here. I can do FF number 5, and I know I've shown you these before. I can do Avengers number 1, and then what about DC? House of Secrets 92. Who knows? Maybe one of those will be the next one. Maybe it'll be something else. People have asked me to do Golden Age stuff. I'm going to do that at some point. Not sure how to because there's not as much sales data on those books, but I will, mark my words, do some Golden Age stuff. So the next one of these price analysis I'll do will be an update, and I think, I don't know if I'll do all the Silver Age ones or maybe I'll key in on these Bronze Age guys here, right? And I will do another one of those in December for sure, before the end of the year, maybe in the next 2 weeks. I've got some other content I've got to get to first before I do that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I like doing these, and I like providing the information to the community out there. So if you have any comments, put them in the chat. Feel free to contact me through Instagram, my eBay store, my website. Everything is RH Midwest Comics, but I like hearing from people and chatting with you guys on this, and give me some suggestions of other books you might want to see. Until next time, have a great day.